Hello, and welcome to another
Episode
of the.
Loom Plotters.
All right, and today we have a special guest. So please, Martin, why don't you introduce our special guest?
So, my good friend George, from non-watch related topics first, right? So George, actually, I met him during COVID, I think, before COVID or right when COVID is starting, in 2021. And I was selling my Rancilio Silvia espresso machine on Facebook Marketplace. And I get this message from a guy who seems to know what he's talking about. And he's negotiating, and he's negotiating fairly. And finally, we agreed to meet up. And later on, he mentions that he's in the watch group as well, this Dubai Watch Crazies. So I didn't think much of it. Okay, I'm sure a lot of people are in it. Didn't think anything of it. So we meet up. He buys my espresso machine. And on the way out, I ask him, so I haven't sold my grinder yet, but I'm going to sell my grinder as well. What kind of grinder do you have? And what happened, George? What kind of grinder did you have?
So I had nothing. And, for everyone listening on this, lesson number one, when you're planning on buying an espresso machine, the grinder is probably just as important, if not more important, than the coffee machine. And my YouTubing homework was very low at that time because I had not done the homework well enough, regardless of how much Martin said that I appeared to know what I'm talking about.
Everything. So I was very like, he's a reasonable guy. He knows everything. And then even when I asked him what kind of grinder, he's like, I'm still thinking about it. And he was able to BS his way out of that one as well. And he seemed like a very knowledgeable person even after that. It wasn't until like last year he mentioned this to me that he had no idea what he was doing. And then later on we met up again. And we still had not talked watches yet. I was with my friend Jesus, the one that I went to Basel World with back in 2019. And so Jesus was going to, what is it called? The watch, what was it called? The used watch place in DIFC? The one that closed?
Oh, Momentum.
No, the other one. The other
No.
one, the one from the US. The one with Tim Masso. What is it called?
Oh, yeah.
Watchbox.
Now
Watchbox.
it was Watchbox. Now it's the 1916 company. Yes.
So he was going to Watchbox, and he apparently had ordered a vintage Submariner from Singapore or something like this. And we were telling him, he was saying, what are you guys doing in Dubai? And Jesus was telling him, oh yeah, I'm picking up a watch. And then George was like, yeah, I have a couple Submariners. And I had no idea, like he was into watches. And then we started talking about watches afterwards. And for the last 5 years, we've been good friends. I think we have number of overlapping stupid hobbies, watches, sim racing. Also now,
coffee.
The coffee was the original.
Yeah.
God knows what else, but he keeps kind of popping into new hobbies and one after another. But the reason we're having George on today is because he is essentially the king of the rabbits. He lives deep down in all of these rabbit holes. And so we decided it would be a good idea to have him on and talk about some of these rabbit holes and how one rabbit hole kind of leads in to a new rabbit hole. And George is one of those people that, we all have rabbit holes. But our rabbit holes are kind of surface deep, maybe a little bit deeper. George will drill down to the center of the earth when it comes to his rabbit holes. And they last significantly longer as well. So we'll let you talk about that in a moment. We'll go into the rabbit holes and you'll introduce yourself and everything. But first, before we do anything, I want to tell the dear listeners, hopefully we have a video of this on YouTube, right? We are recording it. Whether it works or not is a different story, but we are recording. We've had a lot of comments and people said, if you have a guest, have a video. So we are trying to have a video. You should check our YouTube, Loom Plotters on YouTube, and see if this video was posted. If it isn't, there was a technical issue and we apologize immensely. Second thing is we like to start with our wristwatch check. So before George goes, because I'm assuming his wristwatch check is going to take us into a rabbit hole, why doesn't Ralph go first?
Okay, so I'm not wearing my Submariner. So that's the Submariner I'm not wearing. I'm wearing my Beast. So it's the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Offshore chronograph with, the mini tapisserie, petit patisserie.
It's a flyback chronograph, right?
Yeah.
And
It's
all of
fly-
the subdials work?
They do all work.
Yeah. And they reset to zero, smack on the money, right?
They do reset to zero smack on. They
And
just
then
don't stay there.
stay there. They don't inch forward by any.
The minute
Just follow
counter
the
just drifts a bit to the 1 minute after a couple of minutes. It goes to the 1 minute at the moment. So I have to send it in for servicing. If it continues to not bother me at all, then I might just delay that until it needs servicing anyways. But yeah, let's see.
I do think the servicing is going to be more of a pain in the ass than anything else. So.
Well, I knew from Mahmoud, our friend who was on the show, and said they had to send it in twice or 3 times, and so I just wait, I guess.
I agree.
Let's see.
All right. So I am wearing my Grand Seiko SBGW231. And I have mentioned already, this is my nice little taupe Hodinkee strap. I have mentioned already that I think I'm going to sell my SBGM221, my GMT Grand Seiko. Somebody once again commented, why do I have a date window in my collection? And it's been bugging me. So I might sell it.
So you do care what other people think?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Sometimes.
Oh.
No, I'm tired of date windows. I'm so tired of setting that watch. Like, it's such a pain. You have to, it doesn't have a quick set date. So you have to go around a million times. And because I only wear it like twice a month, I guarantee on the 15th I pick it up and it's the 1st. Or on the 1st I pick it up and it's the 15th. Every single time.
Wait a
without
second.
fail.
But it doesn't have a quick set date. It is
No,
a
GMTs don't have.
Ah, so
quick
yeah,
set date.
GMT. Yeah, okay. Yeah,
So
yeah,
GMTs will have to go around with the, it has the
Yeah,
quick
Hour by hour.
jump hour. Yeah.
It's not as bad as if you had my wife's 1803 day date without quickset.
Oh yeah.
Because a day date without quickset, that's terrible because you don't even have the jumping hour. You have to really go
Yeah, you
through
have to
it.
go through the whole thing.
That's a
don't worry.
great
Often
exercise.
I forget that it has a jumping hour.
Yes,
Yeah.
it gets your fingers
Yeah.
some what do you say, some extra skin.
Yes. Some calluses.
Exactly.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, I don't know. I'm not feeling it, so might have to go. We'll see. We'll see. All right. And that leaves us with George. What do you have?
So I'm gonna give you the wrist check, but it's not a rabbit hole. Kind of not, but for everyone who's potentially watching this on YouTube, this is my 36 Rolex Datejust Wimbledon dial with on the Jubilee bracelet and with the fluted dial. I love this one. I think I was waiting for this one for a very long time. Martin also knows the story. It is probably worthy of an episode.
So
in
tell let's say the story. Let's say I've already mentioned this story on the podcast before in the past, but now from the horse's mouth. Let's hear. How did you waited a long time, but you waited in
So
Dubai?
I was correct. I was on the waiting list. I mean, it's one of these watches that I actually always liked and wanted to have in this specific configuration. But one of the times on a weekend, Martin's daughter and my daughter were having a play date, so I went naturally to Elaine, and as one should do in a lane, you need to go and visit the local Rolex AD just to check out what's the situation, what's in stock. So as we walked into the store, and we walked into, I think, the mall store first, the Lane Mall, and I saw immediately a 36 Datejust, but without the fluted bezel and on an oyster bracelet. retail price, of course, in the AD. I looked at it. I was like,
A Wimbledon
almost
dial, we should say. It's a Wimbledon.
yes, the Wimbledon dial, and I was like looking at this, going like, wow, I've almost never seen these in the store, and even from before the crisis and before they were always so popular and in demand. So I've never seen one in an actual AD. So immediately I wanted to see it, and I was thinking, it's not the one that I wanted and the one that I'm on the waiting list for, but it is a Wimbledon dial and it is the watch I want. So I had this like a little bit of an anxiety, or rather a FOMO attack of, if I don't take it and I see another one somewhere else, or if I take it and I see another one, what will happen? So I asked them specifically, I said, can you hold it for 15 minutes just for us to go to the other store and then we come back? And long story short, we went to the other store. There was nothing else, but we actually asked the people from the second AD to call the first one and say, start packing it. The guy's coming to pick it up. And they said, yeah, absolutely. And a long story short, by the time we came back, there was a whole drama unfolding that someone else had booked it, and they had booked it the previous day or the morning, and they had paid, and this and that, and like total drama between the two salespeople. And I told them, I said, look, whatever it is, it's your own drama, but the losing person is me at the moment, because I actually could have had this. If I put my foot down, I could have ended up with that. Anyway, one of the dealers, he told me, he said, don't worry, this is definitely a mess up from our side, but we'll make it right for you. So Martin was very, very much looking at this and saying, you will never hear from them,
Yeah,
and your
100%.
grandchildren will never hear from them. And to be very honest, I kind of, got it out of my system, and I got a phone call less than 4 weeks later from the same guy saying, hey, remember what happened, da-da-da-da-da. We're very sorry, but I think I actually have a better one for you. And hence, that's the piece that I ended up with. So he's like, I'm going to put it on the site, but if you can just come immediately so that, we can get it off to you. So I literally finished work, got in the car, drove all the way to Elaine, picked up the watch, and happy days, I guess. So that's a funny retail sad shopping story at the beginning, and actually kind of going into a good moment by the end of it.
Yeah, and you got a better watch.
Correct.
And
The one I
this
actually
is with
wanted.
minimal purchase history from the AD, right?
Correct. I had only two watches before from that same AD, right? So all these stories about you need a massive, it just sometimes it is a little bit of luck. That's
it really depends. Some need their super head office approval for any watch they. I mean, especially any sports model. Sometimes for everything, it really depends of how busy everything is, right? But yeah.
But my vibe in Elaine has always been, if you want it, they will most likely sell it to you. So I went in once for my brother. I saw the Explorer 40 millimeter for the first time ever. And it was on the wall in the, whatever case, the exhibition only. And I asked, is this really exhibition only? And the guy goes, if you want it, you can buy it. And it was that simple. And I called my brother, he wanted it, and then we bought it. So a lot of times I've seen this when they'll just say, yeah, sure, why not? But the thing is, I bother them a lot, right? I think once a month minimum, they talk to me. And they don't want to talk to me. Some of them like me, some of them hate me. But I do at least show my face once a month in the AD, just in the off chance that something's going to pop up.
And as the story goes, stuff has popped up. So
it has.
And it is. I mean, look, in the end, there's always things that are getting available, right? I mean, when I actually put my name down for an AP in the AP boutique, everything was great, and I said, look, whenever you are having one, please just allow me, just because I don't have any money lying around. It's either invested or it's, somewhere tied up. So if you have the AP that I want, give me a week and I can then buy it. And I said, no worries. No worries. I'll give you a warning. It won't be happening in the next 9 months anyways. So around a year. I said, okay, great. I will have the money ready. 3 weeks later, I get the call. Hey, we have one, but you have to buy it this weekend. And I said, this weekend? And it was already like, whatever, Thursday or Friday. I said, I need a bit more time. I said, no, it's this weekend or it's goes to somebody else. Well, then, that's it. And since then, I have never received another call.
Yep.
Because you don't take whatever they have right now, then that's it. Yeah, you're not this kind of customer, right? So if you can't spend 6 digits just from your, parking dirham wallet, then you're not the customer, I guess. So yeah, so that was a bit sad, but what can you do? But what I'm saying is there's constantly watches being delivered, right? Whatever goes in goes out within a week or two. So if the person who's on the list to receive it doesn't react quick enough, it's the next person on the list, it's the next. And if then these guys take too long to fudge around, a walk-in comes in, watch gets sold. So the money comes in very, very quickly for these guys. So nobody lets a watch lie around for more than 2-3 weeks, I guess.
Yeah,
absolutely.
One time I was in a similar situation when the first Black Bay 54 rolled around. I got the first call in a lane. Nobody else wanted one, so I was the first one on the list and the only one on the list, maybe, I don't know. And the guy, I had just picked up my Santos the Friday, and this was a Saturday. And I'm like, I have no money, like honestly. And the guy looks at me and goes, what if I give you a 10% discount? And I'm like, oh, son of a bitch. I'm like, all right, write it up. Like, so sometimes like these guys will even work with you. But as we know, it took me a number of Black Bay 54s to come around to it.
To settle back to it.
Yeah. And George is also the proud owner of a Black Bay 54.
All right.
Correct.
My rubber. No, you don't have my rubber strap. You bought a rubber strap. That's right.
Correct. Yeah.
And Ralph sent me a link today. I don't know. Am I able to share my screen here?
You should be able to.
I am. Okay, hold on one second. Let me open the email that Ralphinho has sent me.
But while you're doing this, let me just congratulate George to his Wimbledon. I really like the Wimbledon. I don't know exactly why. I mean, the single Lume pip is a bit weird. Roman numerals are usually also not necessarily my favorite, but somehow it works very well, especially in your configuration. I think it's just beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually don't like this watch as much as I do if it's not on a Jubilee and if it's not with the fluted bezel. I don't think it works. I mean, there's a very nice nuance of the way that it positions, reflects the light and everything in this. And that's one of the parts I absolutely love about it. Plus the size actually just fundamentally works.
36
very well.
is perfect. Yeah, I mean it wears a bit bigger. You seem to have quite big wrists as well. What is your wrist size, if I might ask?
I think I'm close to 17 because I will show you in a bit some other watches that are around me, and I can pull off. I mean, one of my early purchases was a Panerai radio mirror. So the 46,
45.
most of the people can't wear this, right?
Yeah.
And I had it like hanging on my wrist as if it's nothing. So it depends, how it works and how it settles with.
Yes.
Naturally, with getting older and wiser, supposedly, I have gravitated to the smaller sizes almost naturally. So I love a 38.5. I think a Lange & Söhne, their typical 38.5 is just a beauty, in my opinion, in terms of sizing. but I don't have a problem with the 40, with the 42. It also depends on the lug size
Yeah.
configuration and the weights, whether it tapers as you
Yeah.
have the bracelet, or whether the lugs kind of have a curvature to hug your wrist. I think many elements that come into play with that, but
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I agree. It's a lot of factors that make this watch work well on your wrist. Also, every wrist is a bit different. So some have flatter wrists, some have rounder wrists. So it's really always a challenge. But what I recently saw a Wimbledon with a steel steel bezel, and I agree with you. It needs to have the fluted bezel, otherwise it doesn't look that good. And I did this for my Datejust when I had a Datejust quite a while ago. I bought the white gold fluted bezel, and you can just pop it off, pop the other one on if you like to. Obviously, a Rolex doesn't like it, so you have to always change it back if you send it for service. But you can change these bezels, and you can get them in the aftermarket. It's not cheap, but you can get them. So if anybody gets the chance of getting a Wimbledon with a normal bezel, just buy it and then buy the white gold later. It does cost you a bit, but at least you have the choice.
It's an option that you can have. I think that's that's a very good advice, Ralph. I think many people are not aware of this, and some care so much about whether it's up to the original, etc. And as I always say, to each their own. You're the sole person that actually cares about what watch you're wearing, and you need to be comfortable with that. If you are, fantastic and enjoy it. If you're not, then find a way around it as well.
Yes, absolutely. So you can share?
No,
Martin?
I can't. I sent you the link. Sharing my Google Chrome doesn't have the privileges, and in order for me to give them, they has to restart, and I'm not doing that.
Okay, let me quickly
I
go
sent the
then.
link in the chat.
Steel Reef. So, okay, let me just pop
But
this
this
here.
is pretty cool. I saw it this morning, and I was thinking to myself, that's a neat thing. Although the colors are kind of crap. I wish they had a ghosted bezel or something like this, or a blue bezel, but no. A bunch of different shades of green, essentially. It's all they have.
So let me try to share this then. I have here the share button. I share my screen. Oh, open. Yes, yes, yes. I have to now allow everything to everybody. Fingerprint reader. Oh, and it says I might need to reload. Okay.
This is what I said.
I don't
And
want
I
to
said
exit.
later, and it didn't allow it. So no one's sharing a screen.
Okay.
George, I will tell you about it. Okay. So
Sure.
apparently this company called...
Oh, wait a second. I can do it. I think I can do it. Just a second.
There you go.
see a
Something's
screen?
coming.
You see a
Black screen so
Black
far, but
screen.
Wait, this one. There you go. Can you
But
see
it
something?
No,
says-
we don't.
no.
But that's a shame. Let me see if I can stop presenting.
It is a
Yeah.
beautiful black screen, though.
Oh yeah, I mean it's one of
There's
the best.
3 dots to flash sometimes.
It's an Apple black screen. Let me see one more time.
Did you get your new Mac?
Yes.
There we go.
There you go.
Yes, it is.
There
my new
you go.
Mac. I am actually using my new Mac. Yeah.
Congratulations.
So
All right,
five
so
new
Click on the
bezels.
link. Let's go explore the range.
So yeah, explore the range. So we can now see what it does.
Nothing.
Well,
Because you're
this
sharing
is-
only one window. You're sharing only mail.
Okay.
So you're going to have to share the actual... Okay, doesn't matter. It gives you an idea.
Okay.
You can
I
buy
am-
colorful bezels, aftermarket bezel inserts from this company called Steel Reef. And there's, I think, 5 or 6 different colors.
Okay.
Most of them are green. There's gold. There's like 3 different greens, and there's a red, like a burgundy red.
Okay.
But the colors I was hoping for would be like a gray, a blue, and those didn't exist. Or a ghosted one, as I said, would be fantastic. None of these exist. They're between 200 and 250 USD each.
Yeah.
which is, I guess, I don't know. But they look good, and it just shows you that this Black Bay 54, Tudor would have a lot of fun with it if they started coming out with some alternatives, right?
Yeah.
And it's still one of these watches, along with the Pelagos 39, that has no other colors besides the Lagoon Blue.
Yeah.
It's kind of a strange thing why they didn't do any more dial colors. But
It's probably, if you ask me, it's probably part of their upcoming.
yeah, we've been saying this
roadmap.
for many years. Yeah.
It's you know how the group is. I mean, they love to drip anything, like one extra drop, and then everyone gets excited, and they kill that market for that year, and then another new
Well,
version,
they
and
failed with
this
the
and
Lume
that.
this
It's
year,
just-
right? This 39 millimeter, whatever the hell it's called, 1920, whatever Luna. The moon phase watch was so hideously ugly.
Yeah, I think I mean, I haven't seen it in person yet. I haven't bothered, but everybody who has seen it in person says it's looking just exactly like on the photos. So it's not, I kept my own opinion saying like, okay, sometimes you really need it seen in person. What I really don't understand with this watch is just how you can make the cover of the moon phase the same color as the moon. How is this gonna help to see the moon properly? Right? Because it needs to come out of this cover and into the cover. So it's just like, it makes no sense to me. And except with one color combination, they have made it exactly in the same color. So it's just, I don't know.
It's ugly.
Yeah. I don't know for whom they actually made this. I mean,
They don't know.
we have a new patent. I don't know if you know about it, but Rolex has just filed a few new patents. One of them is the new annual calendar and the new full calendar. So what they have done is two discs, of course, that are then flipping the weekday and the month and a pointer date. So that's the patent filing. The patent filing goes for full calendar, so that you have to adjust every second, 6 times a year. But they also have added to this patent a annual calendar, so then a semi-perpetual and a perpetual calendar functionality. So what's special about this is that it's actually doing the same as a Datejust, because you would think, well, there's nothing new with a normal calendar or full calendar, annual calendar, whatever. But in this case, it flips all dates at the same time and in one go, so instant. And that's something that usually never happens, because it's one after the other or slightly after each other, or it just goes very little by little. And
The
then
Sky Dweller does this already. The Sky Dweller's annual calendar, and it flips immediately from, if it's 28th on February and it's not a leap year, it's going to flip from 28 to 1 without any interference. It goes immediately.
Yeah, but it's only 2, right?
To
It doesn't
what?
have the date, the day of the week.
No. Exactly. So it's just that.
So
but I mean,
my
I'm
point is
guessing-
there's 3 things that flip at the same time immediately. So that's pretty new, right?
Okay.
So I guess we will see. And in the patent is also mentioned that they might have a moon phase in addition as well.
They've already had a moon phase before, though, right?
I know, but
Cellini
again-
moon phase was so nice. Nobody
Yeah,
liked
it was very nice, and I know that nobody liked it, but I think now that they're going and showcasing their movements, and they're just getting a bit more into the AP and Patek range and the Vacheron range, they just want to have a bit more of that market there. Because if you want to sell higher end products with a high average selling, I mean, I guess Rolex also knows they're not going to sell more watches eventually, right? Because the market is getting
saturated. Yep.
yeah, so it doesn't look good for the next, let's say, 10, 20 years, just economically, I guess. It's just like, okay, there's still a lot of rich people, and the market in this higher end is still quite viable. So if you want to have a higher average selling price, you have to have also some of this money going into your
On
pocket
the innovation. Yeah.
and these kind of things. And of course, in typical Rolex fashion, they actually do something new, right? And they create something reliable and cool and absolutely functional, right? Who doesn't like that the date changes exactly at 12 o'clock, exactly for everything? I mean, I have in my Blancpain, which
I've
is a
never
rub.
stayed up till midnight to witness any of this. So I
No,
go
I
to
think
bed way earlier than that. Sorry, guys.
I do see that quite often. And my Blancpain, for example, the day of the week, it changes over a period of 1.5 hours, which means it goes out of the display very quick. Then there's nothing in it.
Yeah.
And then it goes plop at the 1.5 hours later. So it's a bit silly, right? So it's nicer if it goes quicker. So
Yeah.
I like that. But there's also, again, there's this, yeah, it's a good patent, I think. It's a typical over engineering from Rolex that I think is nice. But on the other hand, it's also using very, very few pieces and parts. So that means it's reliable and it's really thought through. So I guess that's one of the things that Rolex is known for. So good thing.
All
and
right.
hopefully
I think-
not taking a lot of time to service as well, because I think that's the other part that
Yeah.
in all fairness, that we're not talking about. But servicing some of these more complicated pieces, we are very used to hearing the parts, oh, we're gonna ship it over to Switzerland and it's gonna take anywhere between 5 to 7 months. And
Yes. Yeah, that's also one of the things that every watchmaker will tell you who works on Rolex watches, is that they are made to be serviced because of the amount of watches they produce, and they know that they have to service them eventually. They have already put that in the design of the movement to make it easy to service. So most watchmakers that worked on Rolex saying like, this is my favorite to work on because it's made with us in mind, with the watchmakers in mind, to make it quick and easy and just simple to service. So yeah, I guess that's when you make so many watches and you have to eventually service not only the ones you produce in 1 year, but also all of the millions that are already on the market. You probably try to do it
Yep.
as quick as possible.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, you're charging the same, whether it would take 1 hour or 10 hours. So why not save the time, save the money?
absolutely.
All right. So I think it's time for us to let George tell us about his rabbit holes, because we went off on some tangents now. But so Ralph started with a rabbit hole of Seiko, right? That was your original rabbit hole. We'll let you talk about that a little bit, and then tell us, of course, then your current rabbit hole and where you are in this rabbit hole, and tell us about your new love.
You meant George, right?
Yeah.
Not
What did I
Ralph.
say?
No, that's
Did I say
Ralph.
Ralph?
Fine.
I don't
No.
know.
No worries.
Ralph,
I was
George.
like, I didn't have a Seiko
No,
rabbit
no,
hole.
no. Sorry. George had the Seiko rabbit hole. Sorry.
Yeah. So
go ahead,
So
Ralph.
look.
George.
So I'm gonna make sure that everyone knows my name's George.
Yes.
George, right?
Yes.
Not to be confused with Ralph.
No. And of course, I mean, look, you have to forgive Martin. He just knows you for how long? Just a few years, right?
Not enough time.
Recent
Not enough time.
friendship.
He hasn't even put my proper name into his phone book. I'm still Rancilio person in his
Facebook
phone
Marketplace,
There you
Rancilio,
go.
Sylvia Buyer. Yes.
book. So right. So rabbit hole. I guess I started into the watch collecting world maybe around 2002, 2003. I always loved watches, but obviously the price tags at that time, as a starting young professional, they were a little bit outside of my price ranges. I remember I got a gift from my mother, a Longines watch, and it was automatic, and I was very happy with this. So this was kind of my first go-to watch, going around to work every day. And then I said, okay, I want something a little bit more funky. I want a chronograph. I want something, etc. So the first watch I actually ended up buying myself was a second-hand Baume & Mercier. A very nice chrono with a fantastic two-tone gray-black dial, and really fantastic dial, to be very honest. Probably the best thing out of the whole thing. I remember I spent a little bit under 3,000 dirhams at that time, which was supposed to be a bargain for that watch, because I think new they were about 7,000-8,000 at that time. So that's kind of what got me into this. As Martin will tell you, because he's seen a number of the pieces in my collection, I am a very diversified watch geek. So I don't stick to only one brand, even though we're going to come to the point of the rabbit holes. And I have bought without any prejudice almost any watch brand, and I have no affiliation to say, well, no, if it's not Swiss, or if it's not automatic, or if it's not chrono, and if it's not this, if it's not their particular piece, etc. So I've bought very different watches across the board. I think the first time that I witnessed the rabbit hole was a Seiko rabbit hole. The Seiko rabbit hole started with, let me see if I can pull this. Yeah, there you go. So the Seiko rabbit hole started with this wonderful piece. So for anyone who's not seeing this, this is the Orange Monster. This is one of these phenomenal classic watches from Seiko, with the kind of teeth looking hour markers on the dial, and quite bulky. But on the flip side, amazing presence on the wrist when you put it on, and a lot of fun to wear. Highly inexpensive, now immensely sought after. So this is how it looks on a wrist. Super cool to go diving, or just to kill some time in the swimming
How
pool, of
often
course.
did you go diving?
Absolutely regularly. Never. Not even certified. So hell no. But that was one of the ones that started this. I think I owned across the board around close to 30 Seikos at a point of time when the rabbit hole went really deep.
So at the same time.
At the
30.
same time. At the same time. I have downsized that part of the collection tremendously, but
To
I still
28.
have no. Good point, and a good catch, but no. They're probably
I made
maybe
fun of him
around
a long time. I've made
12,
fun of him for many years.
14. Yeah.
Okay.
And the overall collection?
Sorry?
And the overall collection? You downsized as well after I yelled at you?
And the overall collection has been downsized. Yes, correct. Yeah. It's
From
been
where?
downsized.
Where was it when I saw it first?
I think when you saw it first was probably close to 100 pieces. And I think, to your point of downsizing, yeah, maybe it has been downsized to like 85. Let's be very honest.
Well, that's because you kept buying new stuff. You kept
Correct.
selling, but then you'd always
Correct.
like, well, I'm going to buy this because of the new rabbit hole, right? So that's
Yes.
different.
So I think at the top end of the Seiko part is when I started moving into Grand Seiko, and this was before King Seiko came back into the domain of the Seiko group. And then I got into Grand Seiko, and then I mean, I love the Grand Seikos, fantastic watches, obviously. And then I moved and started rehashing the collection a lot. Sold quite a lot of pieces. In all fairness, I probably sold around 35 pieces as part of the downsizing, but then I bought about 20 pieces in the meantime as well, as the collection was kind of veering into a different part. Now the current rabbit hole and the final rabbit hole, and there's going to be a lot of stories about that part, is Cartier. And Cartier became a massive rabbit hole very quickly. I dare say almost an obsession rabbit hole. And I must also confess and admit that I roped in my wife as well into that. So when you have a rabbit hole, the best thing to do is share it with someone else. Um, and I think it was just convergence of quite a number of things that were happening. My realization of why my wife had stopped wearing her watches, and she had Chanel J12, Rolex, Omega with mother of pearl dials and diamonds, etc., different parts, but was not really wearing them. And I realized that with time, and it only clicked to me when I realized the fact that she was not wearing them because she wanted to constantly be changing watches, but she was not looking around to do a automatic watches winding and setting the time and everything. That was something that was a nuisance to her. So the second I realized that that was what was driving her away from the watches, I very quickly moved her into more quartz related watches that were more fun for her and more of the jewelry type. And so this is where this convergence with the wider Cartier part started happening. So, and when it's a rabbit hole, it's a rabbit hole for the whole family. So here is one of her wonderful Cartier Panthère, and this is, I'm gonna line them up in this way. So this is a medium size, and now here is a small size, right? And they're both in stainless steel. And let's make sure that we also have room for a gold small Panthère, right? So now, interesting fun fact. I don't know whether you guys have noticed this and seen it, but Cartier has now decided that this piece is so fundamental to their collection that it's been demanded by men, and they started producing the large size, which is targeted specifically for men. I would love to see statistics of how well it sells, the large one. This is not the large, this is the medium. So I would love to understand how many people have actually gotten into this. I would really, really love to understand that.
Before you get any further,
Sure.
because my wife just told me, I mean, she has a Ballon Bleu, and she wanted to have another Cartier, and she said she wanted to have the Panthère after careful looking at other things. She obviously wants the solid gold version, which I'm not going to buy her, but she can buy that herself. Which she does sometimes, right? So that's also okay. But the Panthère in large, how large is it? Because she likes to wear bigger watches, even though her wrists are very small. But I think that this is something where just a second.
So the large Panthère.
How large is it? Because,
Panthère, the large Panthère is almost the size of the Santos, the regular Santos, and the Santos Dumont large. So it's coming very close to the size of the large Dumont.
Oh, that's very big. I didn't think that it was that big.
So it's actually quite interesting one from literally hitting after the males market perspective. I think for me, so this is a wonderful piece into the collection.
Just one of the mention to the people who are only listening to the podcast. George is showing every Cartier that he's just talked about into the camera. So
yeah. That's a great
Dumont,
yes,
the Santos,
correct.
Santos
So
Dumont,
this is a Santos Dumont. This is with the manual Piaget movement that comes into this. One of the wonderful parts of that. and hand winding comes standard on a black crocodile strap, which I have replaced, courtesy of our friends at Deluxe. Love the quality of this. And if you see as well, the other part is the way that it kind of sits and curves on your wrist, despite the fact that it's actually not such a big watch, frankly speaking. But when you put it on the wrist, it actually wears very, very, very nicely, and it
And
has a
and
great
I have to say, the
presence.
cool thing about this watch, this is the black lacquered dial,
Yeah.
and they went beyond just lacquering. And this, I didn't see this until the first time I saw it in the metal. They actually went through and lacquered the lugs and the bezel, and everything on the watch is black lacquer, which it looks like it's a reflection or like some kind of a mirror, but no, it's actually everything is painted black,
Yeah.
which is super weird.
Yeah, it's super
And
weird, but also my wife just decided that she also likes that.
it's so look, so this is again, when a rabbit hole is a rabbit hole, so that I'm also confessing to that. So this is the larger one, right? Let's see that if I'm showing this. So this is the XL. And always the issue with, for most of the people with Santos or with Santos Dumont, has been the scratching that happens on these lovely polished bezels, right?
Yeah.
Which obviously with the black lacquer, you're never going to have that problem. And now, for those who might have seen the titanium version, has been released of the actual Santos, because this Santos, the standard one next to the Santos Dumont, it's another scratch magnet, right? I mean, the bezel. I think it would be lovely to see Martin's one, because his was like, he had so
Yeah.
many scratches on that,
So
as if it had
mine
gone
was
to the
yeah.
battlefield, you know.
And essentially, I came over to your house once, and I saw your Santos, and they're the same exact watch. And I for a second stopped, and I'm like, "This is what it's supposed to look like." Like I had no idea. Like I was caught off guard. Like I didn't realize how scratched mine was, and mine was just beat to hell, and it almost wasn't shiny anymore. It
Yeah, it's
was
very dull
almost
eventually.
yeah. But his is like in pristine condition. So I guess that's what happens when you have 100 Cartiers to choose from.
That's the other part, right? So let's give you some other interesting ones. So this is Pasha de Cartier. This is
With a tiny nipple.
the Seamaster one, effectively
Show
in
the tiny
their
nipple.
part.
What
And
do you mean the tiny nipple?
so here
it's a
here you
crown.
go.
Yeah.
So the
Tiny.
crown, once you unscrew the crown, let's see if we can show everyone. This
Look
is
how tiny this thing
the
is.
little,
The
the
real
tiny
crown.
nipple that he's referring
It
to.
is the
And this is
tiniest crown
so
known to mankind.
difficult. It is so difficult to actually set the watch with this thing. It is an exercise of,
Patience.
Fine
the tips of
motorics. But you
fine
know
motorics.
there are this watchmaker tools, right? For example, for exactly these things, when they have to wind watches a lot, they have these little grips that you can just put on with a small grip. You can close it, and then you have a proper long stem where you can actually then manipulate it and all of this stuff. So
Now,
But yeah.
I want to show you as well another interesting piece from Cartier.
So what George just did is he removed these. Actually, it's not the crown; it's the crown protector, which is
The crown guard.
attached to
Yeah.
the case with a chain.
Yeah.
So it just dangles then on the watch case if you unscrewed it. Yeah, it's an acquired taste, the Pasha. I think a lot of people.
is.
It's a love or hate. I mean, there's no in
Correct.
between. I think people love it or hate it. So yeah.
And
So
who was
this
it
is-
designed by? It was one of the
The
what's his face?
GG.
Gerald
Gerald Genta?
Genta's. Yeah, exactly. It was
Correct.
one of Gerald Genta's lesser liked and lesser known designs.
Yeah. Is this also the Pasha with the mesh in front with the
No.
grill? No, that was a different one,
not
right?
that one. I'm actually quite a fan of this one, and I have looked for, in particular, I think the 150th anniversary edition, which it's in red and it has the red cabochon. which typically is preserved for the platinum versions. And it has the mesh in the grill. That's one that I would like. And then the other one that's kind of on my radar has been the Basculante, which is Cartier's flippy floppy equivalent to the JOC, to the Reverso, right? Now, this one doesn't look like anything special.
The clay.
This is the infamous Lume.
Yeah.
And with the exception of the fact that when you see that actual key that they're referring to, and let me see if I can open it, whether it's visible, it actually, the entire thing flips. And this is the way that you either wind or set the watch. This is yet another one, which from a functionality perspective is just so damn difficult to set. I mean, it probably takes me quite a while to set this watch when I want to wear it. On the flip side, the beautiful dials with, I mean, the execution is just phenomenal, right? And that's one of the parts that's fantastic. And then the way that it sits on the wrist and it absolutely hugs the wrist is something to die for in terms of wearability.
Yeah, I think this is one of the things that you just have to try. I mean, I have tried a couple of Cartiers, and I also always felt the moment they're on your wrist, you really change your mind about them, right? You think, oh, this is actually quite nice. This is very comfortable to wear. The clay I liked, the Caliber de Cartier I liked. Then they have a diver version of the Caliber, which I also quite like. All of these are, I think, discontinued now.
Yeah.
And so you can get some good deals, and these are really, really nice watches. So still
100%. Another favorite actually of Martin from the collection is the Drive.
Yep. Do you have this
which
one with you?
It's not here, but let me see if I can get.
No, leave it. That's fine.
My wife to bring it over.
Don't
But,
worry.
If I'm not,
so
don't worry
look,
about it. Don't worry about it.
I wanna show you a couple of more when you get into this. Obviously, everyone's favorite tank, right?
Right.
But here
We're
are
seeing,
the different versions, right?
Two of
so
them
this
in the
is
screen.
the red one, and this red one is constantly shared between myself and my wife, which I think is the beauty of this, because you can literally get them from a unisex perspective on a fantastic part. And that's my other one, which is based on Mr. Martin's recommendation, is on a Forstner, one of these amazing straps.
These mesh
that
bracelets,
you can adjust, and it's so
I didn't tell you to put it on
comfortable
there, did I?
No, you didn't. I actually created that version.
No, I told you to buy the strap. I told you to put it on the Grand Seiko, I think.
Yeah.
But
nonetheless,
I
I found this one.
so both of these tanks are tanks. I don't know exactly. Are all tanks two-handers, or do they have sometimes a second hand?
Some of the older ones. Older ones have second hands, including quartz ones, by the way.
Yeah. Okay.
Which I don't know why, to be very honest. I think the Basculante as well had, which is effectively a tank with that. And then you have the tank American as well, that also has second hands, including if it's on a gold and anything. And I think the other part of this is that a lot of the times when you see it, so here is a tank American. This is my wife's one, full white gold, and a phenomenal dial that it's so difficult to see, but it has all the typical parts of Cartier and their infamous dials. The only thing, obviously, this is a much smaller size, so I think the camera will probably struggle to capture the fantastic dial part. Now, I think I want to show you one other one.
So what George is referring to is the detailing, either the guilloche or the stamping or the exact, very exact printing. It's just it's a sight to behold. I think there's a lot of these watches that maybe as a lot of male watch collectors don't really look at in detail, which are extremely interesting if you just loop the dials, for example. I mean, if you look at the J12 that your wife had, that's also it has a lot of depth. There's a lot of different things to
100%.
it, and it's actually a very beautiful dial with this Lume or ceramic indices and all of this stuff. I mean, there's so much going on. Same with the Cartier. I mean, if you just look at a normal whatever Ballon Bleu, because that's one I looked at because my wife got one. It's a beautiful Guilloche dial with a lot of details on them, and it's just, even if you just take a loop to it and you think, wow, this is actually very, very nice, right? For people who just think of, yeah, it's just,
It's
not
a jewelry
really.
maker.
Yeah.
I think that's the other part. So I'll show you probably a last piece from that, and then I'll probably switch a little bit on the other side of the rabbit hole. So I think that's so this is a Santosh Middle East exclusive edition with green/black fading dial with Arabic numerals
Yeah. Very
on the
nice.
dial with the green cabochon as well on that. I think the part that for anyone who hasn't worn such a watch, the actual rubber strap is so phenomenally thin, and it anytime you wear this watch, it's an absolute pleasure to put it on the wrist. Very quick, super subtle, super light. You don't feel it. It is an experience on its own. But what I wanted to tell you guys is that the rabbit hole from the watches, and I think it was also in the vintage ones. My wife has a few of the vintage pieces as well. Of course, converted into the wider perspective of Cartier, which is on the jewelry side. So naturally, as the rabbit hole deepens and you go down, it's no longer with steps. You're kind of sliding down into that. So as a result, here are wonderful pieces from Cartier on their bracelets. These are all of them actually discontinued male versions of Love, Trinity,
which they don't have anymore.
um, which
The
all of this is now
ceramic,
gone,
yeah,
with the
the
ceramic
ceramic.
pieces, little diamonds as well into all of them. But all of this is now gone, and that's what I'm showing on the screen.
But
So
these are
I
little
think the love,
wristbands, right?
yes,
Yeah.
and so the love for the brand has kind of gone haywire. My wife has gone into the bracelets, the earrings, the necklaces. So it has been a very big and steep rabbit hole on that, but we love it. I mean, we are not. Please don't misunderstand this as a complaint or anything on that. It is just sharing the passion that we have developed for that, and the appreciation for the brand, and knowing the specifics of certain of the watches. Martin will tell you I have a number of the Cartier pieces that are with the Piaget movement, and I have specifically hunted them down because of the quality of that hand winding movement and because of the thinness of the dials they produce. The Drive Ultra Thin that I have is probably one of the
Extra
thinnest watches that
flat.
extra flat, sorry,
Yes, which is
which
a very
is
technical
correct.
term. It
Very
says
technical term.
drive extra flat.
And it is phenomenal watch. 6.6, I think,
Yeah, it's
millimeters
tiny.
on the thinness, and it just wears in a very different way. No date, something to Martin's liking, with
Yeah,
one
but it
exception
is a
that
little
it's
bit big. It is a
counter
big watch.
disproportionate.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
You
it's a,
just, can you show that again?
he has it here.
Yeah, it's not here. No, no, don't
That's
worry.
not
Yeah.
here
Okay.
on
So
the
this
No
this is
worries.
a
table,
strange
but yeah,
watch in the sense that it is wider than it is tall,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's
It's a strange one.
39 millimeters wide.
but it is only 1 millimeter the difference between the height
Yeah.
and the length. But I think for almost anyone, and especially for Martin, given his OCD, it bugs the living hell out of him, right?
Yeah.
No,
Because
I
you
love it
can
though. I
see
love
that
it. I just
it's
wouldn't.
offset.
So
Yes.
when you boil it down,
Mm.
obviously one thing is that you have a shared passion with your wife, which is fantastic. I mean that's always great if you have a joint passion for the same thing. What else is it really just that fascinates you so much? Because you have had exposure to so many other brands, but why did it end up with Cartier that much?
Yeah.
So just
So I would tell you, Ralph, I think the first and foremost predominantly has been the uniqueness of the shapes of the watches. Almost all of the shapes of Cartier are not standard round watches. And Martin will tell you, I live for weird shapes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is a kind of inner passion, almost like if it's a standard round dial, I mean, I'm okay with it, but I need something that makes it different. Maybe that's the reason why the Wimbledon dial with the bezel and everything, because it is a little bit different, right?
yeah.
Um, it's I need that, and Cartier provides that in abundance. And I think if you look at their old catalogs, especially the number of watches that are non-round and non what I would call stereotypical, it just evokes a massive emotion in me, and that emotion is of happiness. And who on earth doesn't want to be happy?
I
So
prefer not to be.
no.
So,
I mean,
I like
Martin
being
likes to be miserable and ranting about everything. That's
rock
okay.
and roll.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you should check with the Arab Watch Guide, the Arab Watch Guide or Arab Watch Club. I think Hassan. I mean, don't know if you know him. He has done a few collaborations with Cartier with the Arab Watch Guide. So they had the Santos,
Yeah.
and they had the Asymmetrique. Just
Yes.
relatively
With
recently.
the Arabic numerals.
Correct.
I've seen both pieces. I guess that's one of the reasons why I got the green Middle East exclusive, because I
Yeah.
liked the way that they did it.
Yeah.
I had seen that watch on Badr Belsalah's wrist, and I think he's also part of the watch club, and I've seen that from him. Fantastic watch, and I think the asymmetric is a very this is something wow. I must admit. The new jumping ones that they also produced, minus the price tags because of the precious metals. Obviously, I think that's one of the elements that I think, and we've had many discussions with Martin on this. Cartier's pricing has really gone through the roof. I mean, if anyone complains about Rolex's pricing at the AD, I think we witnessed a massive increase,
Yeah. We said this on the
especially
last
since
podcast. Yeah.
2019,
Yeah,
2020.
absolutely.
It's insane.
But now looking at their sales, I mean, they are the number 2 watch producer at the moment, right? They overtook Omega.
Yeah.
From a numbers perspective as well as from a revenue perspective,
Yeah.
which is surprising, but they are very stable on a secondary market too. I mean, I was just looking at pre-owned Panthers for my wife because I was looking, maybe we can get some, precious metal for a better price or so. But I just looked at the steel version, and it's, I think, the large one for the Panther in steel, the basic one is 24,400 dirhams in the shop. And you only find like 1 or 2 below this price on Chrono 24. The rest is higher. And you think, wait a second, this is a watch that is available.
Yeah.
Theoretically, at least. I don't know if there is a waiting list.
Yeah,
or
I
if
think
it's
the
available.
theoretical part, you're right on the theoretical part, Ralph. I think the demand, they've driven the demand quite high up. And because of COVID and some production issues, for part of the collections, they're still catching up. So I think it's available in certain places around the world, but not everywhere.
Right. That
Now
explains
more
that.
availability is coming, but it's not it hasn't been easy. You know, in all fairness, it took me. I think the black lacquered one. It took me some time to get because of the production delays.
Yeah, I was
So are
always
you
thinking,
ready to sell it?
if they
You're gonna sell it?
Am I ready to sell it?
Yeah.
Way below the price to you, right? That was the
Naturally. I'll trade you a Grand Seiko. Come on. Let's
With a
shake
date.
on it. With a date window.
with a
You
date,
love
which
date
is
windows.
not a quick date, right?
No. Very slow date.
But when we're coming back to what you do with your wife and how your wife went into more quartz watches, because it's a grab and go watch, right? Obviously with quartz. My wife obviously also has now a lot of mechanical watches, but for that we have a process. We have a standard operating procedure every morning. So she's just like silently handing me that watch. Then I know what to do, right? But a couple of times she has grabbed the watch because she was miraculously thinking, oh, it's the right time on the watch, right? She grabbed it, put it on her wrist and went. And then was late for meetings and all of the stuff because it wasn't actually running. It just had the exact time
At
on
that
the
time.
on the dial. But so for her, that's just now standard. She just hands me the watch. She knows it takes a few minutes sometimes, depending what kind of watch it is, to just set it, right? Yeah, but it's that's why she still likes the mechanical watches.
I still do that. I still do that because every time my wife puts on a Rolex, it's obviously going down that part. So the watch is handed over to me. And then to your point, Ralph, I know very well what to do. I'm well-trained husband at the end of the day, you know. So
Yes. Absolutely.
and that's the part. But I think for her, a big part of this is also the enjoyment, kind of in between things. She comes and she switches from this one, from that one. She's gone out to this with that. And I must confess, my wife actually switches watches probably at least a couple of times a day.
Wow.
If not more. So I think that before that wasn't the case. Now, because of the way that it's done, she's actually quite happy to do that and gets excited. You know, like, oh, I changed and I put that bag and this and that, and I'm gonna go with this, and this matches with that, and it's very fluid and it's fantastic.
That is real enthusiast behavior.
Yeah.
Real watch enthusiast behavior.
100%.
That's incredible. I mean, you don't hear that often, but that's really nice and encouraging. See, that's more and more female collectors are collectors or enthusiasts. I don't know. It's always a definition thing, but it's it used to be the same as with us, I guess. We have one watch and then we wear the same watch for everything until it breaks. Then it goes into the drawer, you go buy a new one, and that's it. But then once you start the collecting journey or the enthusiast journey, then it's all coming to an end. Then yes. But that's great. Yeah, that's fantastic. Good to hear.
It is. And what George failed to mention though is that I think your wife got into the Cartier game because of my wife.
No.
Wasn't it?
My wife?
We sold you
My wife,
the tank.
So you sold my wife one of the tanks, but she had Cartier from before. It was
The Vermeil
Cartier.
ones. She had the old vintage Vermeil ones that were, you said the glass was
she had
broken.
correct. So she had couple of the vintage ones. One of them was white gold as well, and she wore it at the wedding, which kind of became the onset of our daughter's generation. and she came after the party with the watch missing the front glass. And I was shocked. I've never in my life ever experienced a glass and the crystal just vanishing from the watch. Obviously fell off and everything. And I remember I picked up the watch the next day in the morning because she had taken it off after the party. And I looked at it and I'm like, my God, this dial was so stunning. It's so vivid, you know, the colors and everything is just popping in my eyes. And I'm like, wait a second, like there's no glass, the sapphire is gone, where is this, what happened, so yeah, quite a funny story on that, Italian trip, but hey, good party nevertheless.
I had a colleague once, because Breitling does a good job of putting anti-reflective coating on the inside and the outside, right? So at some angles, sometimes you feel like, depending on the light, that there is no dial. And I had a colleague then looking at my watch and then putting his finger on it and saying, "Is there a dial? It looks like there is no dial." I said, "Well, if there wasn't a dial, then you would have just destroyed my hands."
100%.
And it's like, dude. And of course, I don't like fingerprints on my watches. So,
True. At the end of the day, you always carry one of these,
Yes, always
Yes,
the
yes.
microfiber. But you know
right.
what? So that's a very interesting story, that you lose a crystal, and it's probably because of the shape. You don't have so much access to aftermarket pieces. The good thing is that Cartier is around for a very long time, so there is something floating around. But yeah, do they have this service that they still repair every vintage watch as well, or do they have specific workshops there?
They do, but it takes significant time. They try to always match everything to their new catalog system. And I know this very well because when I got this Panther, the gold one, for my wife, one of the ideas that Martin and I had is that let's look at the full gold bracelet, right?
Yeah.
So I took this one to Cartier. It took them some time to find it into the system, etc., and all that part. And then they came back and they said it will be 58,000.
Okay.
And I looked at this and I said, "Honey, love you, but that much."
Be careful. Be careful. You have to bleep
No,
you there.
I
So,
think
meep.
No, it's
I
funny
sent her a
because
message, told her the price, and she literally went and she said, like, "What?" She said, "I can buy another few watches with this." And I said, "Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll rather go for that."
That is very true. Generally, you buy the watches new or pre-owned, or it doesn't matter for you, whatever it is.
I don't care, to be very honest. For me, it is the watch. I have zero problems. I have actually family members who refuse to buy secondhand watches. Maybe it's because I started early on with few of the pieces that were secondhand, so I've never cared. If it's a good deal and if it's a watch that I like, I won't lie to you. I've gone bargain hunting a lot of the times, especially when there's some of the sales, etc. Some that should not be mentioned on your podcast, so that no one loses their jobs. But some 50% discounts, with fantastic brands.
Sometimes you get really good deals, and look, it is what it is. Sometimes when stock needs to move, right, and you are willing to, and this is for us, I guess, as well, part of the fun, especially for watches that we're not going to wear ourselves, right? If we hunt for watches for our wives, then at least we can enjoy the hunt, right? Find the best deal, find the best condition for money and all of the stuff. Yeah, absolutely. That's a lot of good fun there.
And on that bombshell.
So, what is next? What's your next watch?
Yeah. What
is it a Cartier or is it something else?
Look,
what you have in mind?
From I mentioned two earlier. I am on a lookout for a Basculante. I would love to add one into the collection, or probably maybe remove some and then add that.
And this is the issue with the Basculantes is they have a small one that is dirt cheap, but a man can't wear because it's way too small. And then if you look at the larger sizes, they're insane, like 10 times the price of the smaller one, and it's the same watch.
Yeah,
and this is the struggle with that. And I think the other one probably is, if I can, I would like to replace this Pasha with the guardrails.
Okay.
Preferably even 150th anniversary edition. That will be a cherry on top. But yeah.
Okay, yeah, there could be some consolidation. You know, there's I never heard crash or the asymmetric. It's not on your horizon, or do you think it's just the price is way too
I
out
think
there?
the price at this moment, I like the watch, but I'm not feeling that the price justifies what it is. It's a very interesting one. I really like it, but at that price level, I'm not convinced that it justifies what it is. Right? I would
Yeah.
rather get some interesting vintage pieces that Cartier's catalog offers quite a lot of them. I would rather do that than anything else. I mean, I didn't show you guys, but I also have a Roadster, very
All
different and
right,
very
yes.
unique shape from Cartier. So as I said, Ralph, to your question, it is what really attracts me is that uniqueness and differences in the shapes. It's not a standard round watch that someone decided and created and slapped on it. I think Martin and I often debate as well that the quality of their movements is not up to par, or
It's either
rather, it's not a
ridiculously nice,
differentiator, right?
it's
Yeah.
either great or shit. There's like nothing in between.
I wouldn't say shit. I mean, if
It's a Salita. We talked about this last time. It's in a solid gold Santos for what is it? 50, was it 60, 70,000 dirhams? You're getting a Salita clone. That's not okay. In any
well,
stretch.
it's an ETA clone because it's not the Celita that they cloned; it's the ETA that they cloned.
Well,
But
the
this is a
Salita
very
already
good movement.
cloned the ETA, so it's a
It
clone of a
needed,
clone.
yeah, but it's a workhorse movement. It's
Yeah.
if you're
True.
referring to the
Because in
1847
my
MC,
solid
is
gold
that one?
watch, that's what I'm
Correct.
looking for. Yeah.
The 18,
Well, yeah.
that one is into anything, and it's not here. So here's
Yeah.
this is a great one. The
But
Leclerc is that, right?
George,
Nothing phenomenal.
George, I had 2 or 3 chats with Carol Forstier Kasapi, who was the movement director for Cartier for I think 10 or 15 years, and obviously she has created a lot of their in-house movements. Nearly all of them came under her reign when she was there. Now she's with Tag Heuer, but the point is that she has been so instrumental of getting so many high horology or haute horologerie pieces in the catalog as well. So, but if you are creating a workhorse movement, there is probably no better one that you take as an example. And if you want to replace existing movements, you need to have a drop-in replacement, right? So the 1847 was the drop-in replacement for the ETA 2892. Which is a fantastic movement, super thin, super nice, super reliable. I have a few watches with that movement. It's bulletproof, right? I mean, that runs forever and it's very good. So it's not shit. It's
cost
good.
of service is not high as well. Let's be very honest.
Exactly.
So there is an element of that. But I think what Martin is talking about is more about the expectation, right? So to his point, otherwise you feel that you're only paying because of the precious metal, right? So a watch that would cost you 70,000, you know that big chunk is because of the precious metal element, but then you kind of have an expectation that along with the precious metal, that movement is something a bit more unique. Let's put it this way.
Yeah, yes and no, but then they have very expensive watches with quartz movement in the catalog as well. So
100%. I mean, this one still to the point. So I went and I saw this together with Martin. I don't know if you remember
and
what
pause,
was the.
sorry, real fast. It's not 70K. It's 150K. Is the Santos in gold.
And this
Which is
piece,
nuts.
the Panthère in full gold, is a 94,000 brand new with to your point, Ralph, with quartz movement, right? So I think that's the only part. I mean, with the ladies' watches, I completely understand because I just explained to you guys why I think this makes sense for the ladies. I think with the Santos, with the full gold, I probably agree more with Martin that my expectation is a little bit high. Not talking some insane stuff. But
I just took offense
yeah,
in the
no.
point that it's
True.
not a shit movement. It's a
It's a reliable movement.
adapted, reliable movement. And I agree. In a watch in this price range, yes, you would definitely want to have something more in-house, something more unique, something a bit more. At least take this movement and take all parts apart and just finish it to a super level or something. Just do something special, because the price is just
At the end of the day,
warranting that.
take a watch of an equal price point, 150K, and
They
compare
date
it to what you can buy for that price, right?
gold.
But that's the thing, is nobody really shits on Rolex movements. Like Rolex movements, everybody agrees they're great, but Rolex never copied anyone either, right? Rolex movements are Rolex movements. On the other hand, when you look at
Zenith.
no,
Zenith.
that's a one watch. That's one watch. That's different. But
Never?
never. I said rarely was the word I was looking for. But in this case, this is just an ETA clone, and that's what I don't like about it. It's not like they set out and said, we are going to try to do something different. It's going to be nice. I mean, look at a basic Lamania and a Speedmaster, and it blows you away how good it looks. And this just looks like
thing
garbage.
is, the thing is, it's not a clone per se. There's no parts interchangeable. So it is taking the design, but it still made it. It's a drop-in replacement, but the parts are not interchangeable. So there's some work gotten into it. So, but yeah, I agree with you. It's not.
So it's like a Jet Tour and a Defender, right? It's not a clone because the parts aren't interchangeable. You can't buy a Defender and say, I'm going to get some Jet Tour parts on it, but they still look the same.
So can you put the Jet Tour engine into your Defender then?
Probably. A little bit of tinkering, yeah. I'm sure
But
you
a lot
can.
of tinkering.
It's possible, but still.
All right. Thank you, George. I think we need to take a second part, because we of course spoke about Cartier a lot, but there's, I think, way more to explore in your collecting journey. So
100%. Happy
Let's
to
do
do
this
that
again.
anytime.
Yes, agreed. All right. On that bombshell, thank you, George.
thank you.
And we will
Thank you
talk
guys
to you
for having
guys
me.
next time.
Thank you very
Thanks.
much.